Hello, I am the new virtual assistant NTB274LQ, but you can simply call me Luke. I'm here to tell you many interesting stories. It doesn't matter if I'm a robot. My memory card is fully charged. Let's begin. Every year a normal of 2 tropical storms strike the United States, leaving demise and annihilation in their wakes. As per Eric J. Dolan, creator of A Furious Sky, the 500-year history of America's hurricanes, these groundbreaking storms have caused billions of dollars of property harm and executed about 30,000 individuals since the last part of the 1800s. Notwithstanding the scars they've left on the scene and the endless lives they've influenced, typhoons have likewise changed the wide breadth of history, remembering for these 5 unforeseen ways. Calm down. You will spend more time together. You can tell me everything. Just write a comment. 1. A storm kept Florida from turning into a French province. Over a year prior to Naval Commander Pedro Menéndez de Avilés established the Spanish settlement of St. Augustine in September 1565, French pilgrims had picked up their own traction in Florida by building up Fort Caroline at the mouth of what is presently the St. Johns River in present-day Jacksonville. Menéndez looked for the obliteration of the youngster French settlement, and nature demonstrated a priceless partner. Only days after St. Augustine's establishing, a French armada told by Jean Ribault snuck off its coast and requested that Menéndez give up. Before Ribault could get an answer, be that as it may, a tropical storm blew his boats south toward Cape Canaveral, where they destroyed. Knowing Fort Caroline was likely left unprotected, Menéndez assaulted the French station and butchered in excess of 130 pioneers. Weeks after the fact, the Spanish executed Ribault and several of the French wreck survivors at a delta south of St. Augustine, adequately finishing France's endeavors to colonize Florida. Simply figure how history may have changed if that French armada attempting to defeat the Spanish had the option to take care of business as opposed to being clobbered by a typhoon, says Dolan. You could envision Florida would have gotten French, and with its settlement of Canada, the French may have endeavored a pincer development into the inside where the British settlements were. If you want, you can stop the video and buy yourself a cough. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. 2. A typhoon denied Jamestown pioneers of vital help, and likely roused a Shakespeare play. In June 1609, a flexibly strategic 9 boats and around 500 pilgrims set sail from England to recharge the incipient Jamestown colony. Before the Guard could arrive at England's first perpetual settlement in North America, in any case, an enormous tropical storm blew the 300-ton Sea Venture, which headed the flotilla, far away course to Bermuda, where the boat steered into the rocks. The castaways made do for almost a year while they built 2 littler boats. When they at last showed up in Jamestown, they found a settlement near the precarious edge of breakdown. Without the provisions on board the Sea Venture, Jamestown's populace had dwindled from 500 to 5 dozen. A few homesteaders had even purportedly went to human flesh consumption to avert starvation. Notwithstanding its effect on pioneer American history, the typhoon changed abstract history also. At the point when expression of the stunning state of the Jamestown colony arrived at England, so did a sensational observer record of the trial of the most shocking storm, composed by William Strachey, a hopeful writer and dramatist who had been on board the Sea Venture. Around a similar time that Strachey's record circled in England in 1610, writer William Shakespeare wrote a play about a rough tempest that caused a wreck on a far-off island, The Tempest. Shakespeare approached and knew about Strachey's record, says Dolan, and a dominant part of Shakespeare researchers concur that he utilized Strachey's record recorded as a hard copy The Tempest. 3. A typhoon energized the golden age of piracy. In July 1715, 12 boats weighed down with gems, gold and silver gathered from Spain's settlements in Central and South America cruised along Florida's east coast and into the teeth of a horrible storm. The tempest obliterated the Spanish Fortune Armada close to introduced de Vero Beach. Everything except one boat ran aground or broke down against the reefs, throwing destruction over a 30-mile stretch of shallow waters. Like miners attracted to a dash for unheard-of wealth, a large number of sailors slid upon the area of annihilation, keeping in mind the desire of recuperating a bit of the goods. Most came up void, says Dolan, yet many baffled sailors despite everything needed to make easy money and chose to remain in the Caribbean and became privateers. Those disappointed fortune trackers powered the second 50% of the golden age of piracy, which created amazing pirates, for example, Blackbeard and Dark Sam Bellamy, who looted vendors' boats in the Caribbean and Atlantic. Do not worry. I have not finished yet to tell. 4. A storm put Alexander Hamilton on a way to turn into a founding father. In the wake of an August 1772 storm that hurtled through the Caribbean island of St. Croix, an adolescent composed a distinctive record of the tempest to the dad who had surrendered his family over 6 years sooner. That letter changed the life of its creator, Alexander Hamilton, who exhibited his scholarly ability with his exposition. The thundering of the ocean and wind, searing meteors flying about it noticeable all around, the tremendous glare of practically unending lightning, the accident of the falling houses, and the ear-puncturing yells of the troubled, were adequate to strike wonder into angels, composed Hamilton of the tropical storm. The letter so dazzled Hugh Knox, Hamilton's Presbyterian serve, that he printed the record in a paper he altered, and it spread far and wide. Perceiving the 17-year-old's ability, various St. Croix businesspeople gathered cash to support a grant for Hamilton to proceed with his training in the American settlements. Hamilton left St. Croix, never to return. Rather, he joined the American Revolution and became one of the founding fathers of the United States, credited with setting up the new country's budgetary framework. Hamilton didn't have any acquaintance with it, however he had quite recently worked out of neediness, composes Ron Chernow in his account of Hamilton. This regular cataclysm was to demonstrate his salvation. 5. A tropical storm guaranteed triumph in the American Revolution. As it cleared across Caribbean ports utilized by the French and British naval forces as organizing zones during the American Revolution, the Great Hurricane of 1780 took an expected 22,000 lives. While the British lost 8 boats and almost the entirety of their teams, the deadliest Atlantic typhoon on record likewise guaranteed in excess of 40 French vehicle vessels and the lives of thousands of fighters ready. The tempest gave an additional catalyst to France, which had marked a settlement in 1778 to offer military help to the Nationalists, to consent to George Washington's solicitation to move its boats toward the north. Fixing their boats throughout the winter of 1781, the French at that point moved a large portion of their vessels north to the Virginia coast during the accompanying typhoon season. In the wake of crushing British maritime powers at the Battle of the Chesapeake on September 5, 1781, French warships hindered any British break via ocean during the Siege of Yorktown. That activity closed with the acquiescence of Lord Charles Cornwallis and adequately finished the American Revolution. This video is finished, but there are a lot of videos on the home page. I'm going to charge. See you in the new video.